Let me loop that in. There we go. Now you can hear me. Welcome to the JoyClicks Hall of Game. This is the first ever induction ceremony. What we will be doing tonight is presenting the case we all think should be made for the best games of all time. My name's Christian Buckley. Going through the panel here today, the order, as it were, is Mike Connors up in the top left. How are you, Mike?
Great. How's it going, man? I'm happy to be here to talk about video games and try to convince each other of which one's the best.
Hell yes. This is going to be a fight to the death. I cannot wait. It's going to be a good time. I already introduced myself, but to my right on the screen, we have Jack Martin.
Hello. I think we should clarify this is a different order than the order that decides the fate of the JoyClicks conference champion. Which, by the way, we haven't had the new one named recently.
Yes, something.
Someone was robbed.
Yes, something
and
was held
it
up.
might be someone who's speaking right now. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yes, the order. You know, sometimes ballots get lost. You know, we just gotta recontact them.
We know Sir Galahad is on that order. So I think that's the only member we know.
Yes,
Knack is on there too.
Mm-hmm. Knack and Sir Galahad, I think, were the two that we figured out are there.
For sure.
On the bottom left, Omar Nakvi.
Hey, what's up?
I'm excited. I'm excited for your presentation, Mr. Apple.
It's me, Tim Apple.
Tim Apple.
Just ignore the background; it'll make sense later. I swear.
Very nice.
I love it.
And rounding out the order of JoyClicks on the bottom right, Kevin Diaz.
How we doing? What's going on, gentlemen? I think that this is, I just want to just emphasize that, hey, I appreciate all you gentlemen. I may be shit talking some of your games. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? But happy to be here. Let's may the best game win. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
May the best game win.
So how this is going to work is each of us have selected a game that we believe should be recognized as the greatest of all time. The plan here is to open up the doors to the JoyClicks Hall of Game. We all decided that we've been talking about stuff long enough that we should have a gold standard when it comes to games. So this is how we are doing that process. There are some rules that I have written up. We will run through them before anything begins. First up, each member of this order has a presentation prepared to some extent, however that may be, bullet points, an edited video, a presentation. We'll see what happens. But everybody has 5 minutes to sell why they believe their game is deserving of GOAT as a title, or to be inducted into this holy hall. After each presentation is completed, Jack will go 5 minutes. Then we will open up 5 minutes of a Q&A. So let's say Jack's game, celebrated by many, but perhaps there's some really shitty things about it. That's what the rest of the order's job is. We have to make sure we can figure out Jack's defense of some issues. So maybe we haven't played the games, It's a Q&A portion. So 5 minutes for each game. After every single presentation's been made, the entire order will each go in the order they presented in. So if Kevin goes first, Kevin will vote first. The way voting works is after the presentations conclude, everyone in the call will mute themselves, headphones off. Kevin will be highlighted, be talking directly to the void, in this case the audience, on why he's choosing what he's choosing. And to go into detail with that, we have 3 games we can award points with. We are awarding 1 game, the thing we think is the most deserving based on whatever metric you want to go by. Presentation, your experience with the game, however you want to vote. 3 points to 1 game, 2 points to another game, 1 point to a third game. You cannot stack, so you can't give all 6 allotted points to 1 game. You can't vote for your own game. And to make it interesting, if a game that is presented tonight from a member of the order does not get in, that game can never be brought by that member of the order ever again. So, make your case well. That is the incentive there. If you believe in your game, fight for it and make it really feel like you got to give it 110% because you never get another shot at the game you're bringing. So those are the main rules. We've gone over, logistics behind the scenes. You'll see the process work out. This is the first time we're doing this, so there will most likely be some kinks to work out. But we will be doing 4 induction ceremonies this year, 1 for each season. This is the first one. And by the end of this year, we will have 8 games that we can confidently call GOATs among the JoyClicks order. Did I miss anything? Panel, do we have questions?
I think we're solid.
Okay.
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Very, very good.
So we all have 6 points. We allocate those points however we see fit.
Yes, but they're locked into, you can give a game 3 points, a game 2 points, and a game 1 point.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
You got to spend those differently too.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not like you have 6 individual points to allot to different games.
Whatever.
You have.
Yeah.
It's like a ranking.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
and I forget if I mentioned this part, but the top 2 games are the ones that get in. So we're inducting 2 games tonight. We are doing it by random order, so we can get that started in just a second. And I believe that is everything. So why don't we figure out who's going first?
I'm nervous.
Me too.
I was saying Austrian. This feels like you're like gearing up for a presentation in like high school or like college. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. So to make sure that this is gonna work, I can screen share the wheel so we all know that I'm telling the truth. Let's see here. Okay.
We'll believe you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was gonna trust your word for it, but why not? Here, I'll watch you do it. Let's see if it shows up. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. I see it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Do we see that?
Yeah, I see it.
It looks like
God,
we
is that
have.
going?
Huh?
Is that already going?
No,
Oh no,
it's going now.
Okay, here we go. Oh baby,
Rigged.
Rigged. no, but it's like.
All right. So I think, from the looks of it, we might have to do cams off for non-presenters, just if we're doing a screen sharing, and then we'll do cams on for the Q&A portion, if that's cool.
Okay. Yep.
Excellent. Okay. So let me pull up my presentation.
Yeah, so you're saying we gotta turn off the cam.
Cam's off right now.
Yeah, cams off for everybody except me.
Okay.
Okay. Let me pull this up. Does somebody want to be on time for calling time?
I can give you a stopwatch and the countdown if you want.
Sure, that'd be very nice.
Okay.
How rigorous do we want to be about keeping time?
If we're on our final thought, maybe like finish whatever sentence you are when time is called.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce I think best album of all time. But
Should we have like a warning, maybe like a 2-minute warning or something?
Yeah, do we want to do 2 minutes or do you want to do like a 1 minute? What do you
we
guys
do
want?
1 minute warning. I think like a 1 minute warning. Yeah.
Very nice.
All right.
I think there's no way for me to do this in a staggered thing, so close your eyes and you will not be spoiled until I tell you to go.
Okay. Just let me know when you want me to press start on the timer.
Okay, so eyes are shut. I believe the
Yeah.
chat will see what my presentation is, but okay. Here we go. I'm setting this up. I will let you all know when you can look. Not just yet, not just yet. We got loading. Okay, can you all look and let me know if you see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay,
I have to watch the stream.
Yep.
Let me see.
are you
Yep.
ready?
Okay. Yes.
So Kevin, time whenever I start, okay?
Yep.
All right. So, I think it's important we're doing the GOATs of games. GOAT is defined as greatest of all time. Greatest is defined as, quote, highest in quality from vocabulary.com. All time is defined as unsurpassed by Oxford. If you would like to trust that name, I think you should. Our mission tonight is to award the greatest games of all time And part of that is selecting games that are of the highest quality, that are unsurpassed in their respective series or genre. That's why tonight I am presenting a high quality, unsurpassed GOAT, Super Mario 64. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that game old? Yes. But like it's a year older than me, okay? We can award some things that are old. Let's talk about legacy. Hasn't there been a Mario game that's done it better? There's been plenty since then. The simple answer, no. The complicated answer, there are multiple 3D Mario games, 5 here specifically that have come out after Super Mario 64, but the 3 in the middle really don't count. They're kind of an evolution of 2D Mario based on courses. We're strictly talking about Mario Sunshine, Mario Odyssey, and Mario 64. The 3D Marios. Sunshine and Odyssey, complicated. 64, not at all. It is pure, basic excellence. All killer, no filler, a saying I enjoy. There are 3 objectives to this game. You have to navigate the castle, get to new worlds. Go to each world, collect power stars. Use those power stars to go back to the castle and progress to fight Bowser and save Peach. These things are power stars. We should talk about why they're good. There's a loop to Mario 64. Every time you hop into a world, you're presented with this screen, one at a time. You have to go into the world, find the objective that is teased here. As you see, Big Babam on the summit. There's a Big Babam on the summit here that we have to go and fight. Rinse and repeat. This game gives you choice in a way that I think not a lot of games of the time do. There are 15 worlds, and you can get 120 stars total, but to reach the end of the game, you only need 70 stars. 120 is really if you want to test yourself. There are some levels later in the game that are kind of tedious and annoying, but they test your skills if you can master this game's mechanics. Let's talk about the mechanics, because the game respects you as a player if you choose to master them. Like we mentioned, Odyssey, Sunshine, they complicate it with jetpacks and capture mechanics. This is pure Mario platforming. This is a game that established Mario's moveset and mechanics for the next 20 years. We're still using this foundation. It's straightforward, it's fair, and it allows you to maneuver in ways you want to. And the game respects you so much that you can beat the game without even having the required 70 stars. If you master the mechanics well enough, you can go to this area that leads to the final boss, master the mechanics so well to do a long jump, do it backwards, zoom up the entire staircase, and fight the final boss with just having a few stars. Let's talk about rewarding the player, because this game also does that very well. Bowser. We fight Bowser 3 times. Each time we encounter Bowser, it's progressively more and more intense. The lighting gets more dramatic. On the left, we see the first encounter. The right, the final one. Dark and purple, very moody. So every time you fight Bowser, it is a good place to check your progress and continues pushing against you. The game also has very good secrets. This entire time you're going through this world, there are 15 stars to get to the 120 that you can find by just exploring the castle. And through doing that, you're able to really get a sense of exploration for this game. The entire time you're playing the game, you see this grate. The second you load into this game, you see a sewer grate that is covering an area in this first starting location. You think, hey, what is this? I can't do anything with it. But if you get all 120 stars, it opens up. There's a cannon in there. You can fire yourself onto the roof and find Yoshi. He gives you 100 lives. He gives you a wing cap to fly around the opening area. Truly explore, thank you, the offerings of this world. In closing, this game is simple, but it's the reason 3D game design is where it is today. You like using your cameras, you like using a 3D camera in an open space. It was perfected here. It was improved upon in time, but this is the reason why it is the language we communicate with our games with. For Mario specifically, it defined a moveset that has been overcomplicated in the future with games like Sunshine, Odyssey, Galaxy, 3D World. Some of them have their own merits, but here it is truly perfected. There's a reason that those games build off of what was established here 20 odd years ago. This game is available on Nintendo 64, Nintendo DS, the Wii U, the Switch for another week, and the PC if you want to go across specific routes. It also has a very popular modding scene. And yeah, it's got good vibes. I think that's very important.
Time.
Thank you.
Very, very, very good timing on that. Very, very good timing, Christian. I gotta commend you on that timing.
So
sure.
I will close my screen sharing. We can put cams back on. Now, okay, so I can't say anything else. Q&A time. As soon as it starts, Kevin, if you want to hit another 5-minute timer. Absolutely. For the Q&A session. And I start whenever somebody has a question, and we can go from there.
Timer begins in 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes.
So, Christian, why? I know you mentioned it a little bit. Why Mario 64 compared to something like Mario Galaxy or a later 3D Mario game?
I think those games in their own right are also great and could be presented as a greatest of all time, but there's something about the fact that they build off the legacy here, right? Like, I kind of breezed through it in my PowerPoint, but Galaxy is more of an evolution of 2D Mario, where 2D Mario is sort of course-based, where you load into a level and you have to get to the end. And that's not to say you don't do that in 64, Odyssey, or Sunshine, but there is much more of like a freedom of exploration, and they reward that exploration through the secrets. And I think Galaxy, Galaxy 2, and 3D World sort of fall into a similar camp of perfecting that type of Mario, but specifically 3D exploration-based. That is 64, Sunshine, and Odyssey, and 64 out of the 3 of those does not falter in terms of its design philosophy, and it's simple, and they nailed it out the gate, and they build off of that in all these other games that I brought up.
I have a question.
Sure.
So, you all know that famous imagery of the first wheel, right? The stone wheel, yes. Right? And it really formed and shaped humanity as a whole in terms of like how we utilize tools in our given world, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't call the original wheel the best wheel ever.
Right.
So, and I believe it is not that far-fetched of a thing to say that there are other games, there are other 3D platformers that play better in the modern day as opposed to Nintendo 64. So why do we accept that there are better wheels that have been made in the future as opposed to this game where its original is the best it's ever been?
Sure. First, I would like to also throw out there, this is not the first Mario, but it is first 3D, so warranted. But I think because in this case I would disagree that, I think nostalgia aside, because granted I grew up with this game, it's one of the first games I ever played. I think anybody can pick this game up and understand it and learn the language of video games still. My girlfriend did not grow up playing video games really. Stuff like Club Penguin and like online stuff like that, but I showed her Mario 64 after she played Animal Crossing, which really is a locked-in world. You can't really like maneuver it much to your liking. 64 opens that up to a point where she understood how camera control works in video games, because 64 is so good about introducing that concept. So I think in 2021 it is still a very like simple, straightforward, sensible game to pick up and learn. And I think for that point, like you're saying, the original wheel might not be the best, but considering this game is still good at what it went out to do, I think that's worth celebrating. Also, I'm gonna shut the window. There's a leaf blower.
Omar, please go ahead, proceed.
I need to wait for him to hear me.
I can hear you still.
All right, great. Hello, my name is Omar. Christian, isn't the staircase, every level on the first set of stairs, don't they all suck ass?
On the first set?
No, the second set, with the one with the rainbow wheel. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, I'm glad you bring this up, Omar, because on one of my slides I did say some of them aren't great, but the game is so dedicated to you as a player and rewarding you and respecting you that if you do choose to spend time in these early worlds, which you will want to because the vibes, like I said, immaculate, you'll have enough stars to completely avoid some of those worlds. It's a game about choice, Omar, so you can just choose to avoid those levels.
I have another question.
Yes.
Isn't this game fucking broken?
In what way?
The backwards long jump? Isn't that shit fucked?
I don't think so.
That doesn't seem like intense. Yeah, I also want to put a flag on that play as well. I'm with Omar on that too.
Sure.
That seemed just
Omar, I believe you discovered the backwards long jump. You perfected those mechanics of this game, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a master.
Would you say it was a challenge? Was it fun to learn the backwards long jump? And was it rewarding to have that skill and mastery respected to allow you to just get to the end of the game?
weren't supposed to ask me questions, Christian, but yes, I love this game too, and that part is immaculate. So sorry. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't think, in a similar vein, I don't think Doom is bad because you can beat it in 20 minutes.
Okay.
There's a huge skill ceiling that you have to get to that point.
We're out of time. I do want Mike to ask his remaining questions because he never got a chance to do that. So, Mike, I'm gonna let you proceed. Go ahead.
I actually don't have a question, so we can just keep going.
Very nice. Yeah, I was nervous. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So.
Valiant effort, Christian. Valiant effort, Christian.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you all.
The bar has been set.
You sent me a photo of like that presentation background. I really thought it was Destiny. I thought you were gonna make a case for Destiny.
Yo, I was like, I'm about to fucking vote for this motherfucker. Let's go.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a threat?
Yes, it is. Okay, so the way we'll do this again, I'll pull the screen share up for the wheel. Let's see who is next. Mike Connor.
Mike Jackson here. I tried to get Mike to talk. He didn't want to talk. Too bad. Too bad now.
It's not that I didn't want to talk, is that I actually did not have a question, but I do want to talk about my game. So let's
let me
share my screen, right?
Yeah, we can transition this. So everybody can look away, because I believe you'll see the title as well. Omar, you can turn your cam off also, sorry.
Right. No worries.
I know what everybody brought for logistics, so I'm gonna be here until it's all set up. So Mike, you can pull your PowerPoint up and I'll align it the way it should be.
I am standing by for the timer.
Okay. Oh, I forgot.
Is this working?
Yes, I can see it perfectly. And let me pull up your PNG for the stream, because after we do the presentations, it's our pics are revealed. They're going to show up on the stream for the rest of it. So.
All right.
When you're ready, Mike, let us know.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
You want me to have you a little countdown for the clock? Or?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Okay. Is everybody looking?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes, go.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to this presentation about why I believe Halo 3 should be in the Joyclicks Hall of Game. I'm really excited to bring this presentation to you today. I made it today in very record time. I used all of the skills that I learned. Had my multimedia, my multimedia background coming through. So I think we should just get started. Let's put some context here. All right, the Halo franchise to me was my first introduction to video games on a serious level. My dad had brought an original Xbox, as well as Halo when I was a kid. So I have vivid memories of playing it with him. Probably may have been too young to be playing this game at the age that I was, but it's fine. This is a real historical photo of me and my dad. Moving on, let's get down to business and talk about what really matters. 2 bullet points here. Basically what I'm about to prove in this presentation. Number 1, why Halo 3 is an amazing and well-rounded game and should be in the Joyclicks Hall of Game. And number 2, how Halo 3 has influenced first-person shooters since its release in 2007. All right, so first let's talk about the story. Halo 3's campaign is the end of the first Halo trilogy. So to me, the campaign doesn't really overstay its welcome. I feel like it has a satisfying ending. It's a very complex story that the 2 previous games started. I felt the gunplay was smooth, defeating enemies were challenging. Each game also sort of like adds new enemies. So I also thought it was interesting that Halo 3 continued in that vein. Everything was pretty rewarding in terms of that. And the visuals were obviously at the time like the flagship of the original Xbox 360. And I still think that they hold up today, to be quite honest. Campaign co-op was also a lot of fun. It was pretty seamless, whether you're on Xbox Live, on the couch. It was just fun to mess around with like different levels with your friends and all that kind of stuff. But in the vein of co-op and playing with your friends, I think I should talk about the mainstay of Halo 3, which is the multiplayer. I spent many, many days and nights with friends in custom lobbies, multiplayer, campaign co-op, and of course Forge. I'm sure probably everybody here has played this game. Maybe I'm assuming, I don't know. Halo 3, I think, built on the success of Halo 2's multiplayer. It elevated it to an entirely new level. I also appreciated how the developers, while this game was like still active on Xbox Live, like put in different game modes. I feel like that was one of the first games to sort of do that on a large scale. In multiplayer and just like campaign and everything else, I still see this influence, the influences this game has made on modern FPSs in terms of like gunplay and movement and just general FPS functionality. So overall, I just really personally love this game a lot. And for anyone who was paying attention to video games in 2007, you know how hyped this game was. Got to throw in the Mountain Dew gamer fuel. And yeah, that's basically the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you.
With 2 minutes to spare, I appreciate a man that is willing to just let time fly by, you know?
You know, I
hear you. No, I really commend it. You know, you said your point very clear. I appreciate it. Definitely.
Very nice.
Definitely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll be resetting the clock as well for another 5 minutes.
Okay, Mike, you can turn your screen share off as well.
Okay. Oh, you said
that's
Jack.
like nerve-wracking, honestly.
I know.
Only Christian knows because he's gonna.
Yeah.
But
I have a question.
go for it.
You want me to start the timer right now or no?
Sure.
Okay. 5 minutes on the clock. Go.
Master Chief seems like a dumb character who's kind of like cool to be cool. What, do you think that he's anything beyond just the cool guy with the gun and the cool suit?
Honestly, no. I don't think the first 3 games really delved into Master Chief at all as a character, but I don't really think that it needed to. I think Master Chief was kind of just the vessel for the player in terms of getting into the story. Master Chief, like, yeah, he's like sort of into the story and sort of intertwined in a way, but I don't necessarily think that he needs to be characterized in a way that, you know, in a larger way that, you know, makes it relevant. I just think that the story and the world building anyways is just interesting. I think Master Chief in the later games starts to get sort of built on as a character, but yeah, that's what I have to say to that.
Thank you.
Ooh, Jack, please go ahead.
Okay, 2-part question. So why, similar to my question to Christian, why Halo 3 over the other Halo games? And 2, wasn't this just the most delightful little game that came out in 2007? That's more of a personal aside.
I mean, I'd have to agree with you with the personal aside, Jack.
That's a flag.
And what's that?
I can use my question to bolster others' arguments.
Flag on the play.
This man has at least 1 point from me.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I guess I didn't choose Halo Combat Evolved or Halo 2 just because I spent the most time with Halo 3 personally. Might just be a personal decision on that. However, like, I did play Halo 1 and Halo 2, and I just think, as I touched on in the PowerPoint, that Halo 3 was just kind of the natural evolution of those two, and built upon things and made them better. So that's kind of why.
Omar, please.
Multiplayer has evolved so much over the past decade. Recently, they added Master Chief to Fortnite. Is this really better than Fortnite?
I didn't say it was better than Fortnite.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can breathe easy on that one.
Thank you.
But yeah, no. Master Chief being in Fortnite is definitely interesting.
I have one more question if you don't mind.
Sure.
So you were talking a lot about the multiplayer. Is it fair to hold my bad experiences with Halo multiplayer against this argument? Because I got teabagged a lot. Is that? Can you defend that? Can you defend this game?
I can't. I can't defend the game on what other people may have done to you in it. But but yeah, no, definitely has happened to me as well, Omar.
That's reassuring. Thank you.
So I do have a question, right?
Yeah.
So I come from a Call of Duty background, right? Of course, back in the late aughts, if you will. The old Call of Duty versus Halo thing was definitely much alive in 2007. Of course, 2007, if you may have forgotten, or any of the panel has, the seminal Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out that year as well. So it was a big year for both Halo and Call of Duty. It's very clear that COD 4 was the COD that really laid down the trend for the modern Call of Duty franchise to move forward onto the likes of Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, etc. Right? What do you feel Halo 3 multiplayer brought to the table in terms of multiplayer shooters from a wide scale standpoint?
I think I kind of touched on it a little bit in the presentation, but I think that the movement was sort of different in the sense that, you're a big Spartan in the game and you can sort of jump really high and move in different ways. And that wasn't something that you could necessarily do in like the early Call of Duty games. Also, I think that just the gunplay and just the way that you handled like weapons and everything worked better than like Call of Duty and everything. So that's what I would sort of mark up over Call of Duty for Halo. That's my answer.
Has Halo ever been better since Halo 3?
Has Halo been better since Halo 3? I mean, honestly, I've only played Halo 4, so no.
Okay.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Is there a specific gun that sticks out to you the most in Halo 3? Because I know I come from, my history with Bungie is Destiny, and they have the best feeling guns in any game. So, like, is there anything in Halo 3 specifically that stands out gun-wise for you?
I mean, I like the battle rifle.
Okay.
So.
Got a good sound to it?
A good sound to it, yeah.
Okay.
I feel that. And that
would you rather...
gentlemen.
Oh, fuck.
No, ask it. You can ask it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
would you rather play as the Arbiter in Halo 3? Or was Master Chief the way to go?
They were both kind of the same, honestly, but Master Chief.
Okay. Nice. Well done,
Thank
Mike.
you.
That was good.
I like it.
Very good. Very good.
So, let's pull the wheel back up.
Let's not.
I'll let you know who it is,
All right.
just to take away some of the suspense.
No, man, I like the suspense. I like to get the blood flowing.
Well, looks like Kevin's next. So
Let's go, baby.
okay.
All right.
So Kevin, you don't have a PowerPoint. So would you like?
I do not.
Would you like our cams to be visible for you? So it'll be centered on you still for the stream, but you can see us.
It can be visible, yeah. It's just, I brought a game that, quite frankly, doesn't need any visual support, to be honest. So that's kind of where
Okay.
I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So.
Let me pull the timer up for you. Let's see here. Okay, 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
All right, ready to go.
Go for it.
You can give it. Oh, okay.
I'll count you in if you want.
Count me in. Give me a little countdown. I need a little something.
30, 29, 20. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
God of War 2, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Now, hear me out. Okay. God of War 2018. It was great and all. You had the axe, you had the different perspective, right? And people always, talk this mess about the original trilogy of God of War being from this archaic age and, not being a game that has depth or a series that has anything really going for it besides its gameplay. I'm going to have to disagree with God of War 2 for a few reasons here. Okay, number one, let's talk about the game itself, right? March 13th, 2007. Boom, bow. We have a great year of games, 2007, apparently. God of War 2 hits the scene, okay? One thing to note as well was that this came out a year after the PS3 had already launched, okay? So I think that really stands to tell that when you actually look at the game gameplay-wise, when you play it, it really is phenomenal to see what they were able to extract from the PlayStation 2, right? But that's just service level stuff. Let's go into the actual game itself. The intro picks up immediately after God of War 1, and you get this amazing intro where you're doing a lot of combat, a lot of heavy stuff. You're remembering how you felt at the end of God of War 1. Then for reasons that I don't want to spoil here, okay? There's reasonings that where they tackle the element of you playing a sequel of a game and being stripped away of your powers and having to rebuild that. They cooked that into the narrative in such a way that number one makes sense, and number two is satisfying as hell. Because not only does it take away all of your power, it gives you the ultimate bad that you are working towards the end of God of War 2, right? Then you get thrust into this predicament. You do not have your godly powers. Kratos is once again a bit of a mortal in this game towards the post part of that intro, right? Then we get into some stuff where I feel that they opened up this franchise to very interesting stuff in terms of Greek lore, in terms of just overall just really, really cool stuff, in terms of the elements of the giants with there's time travel with the Sisters of Fate and how that all is baked in to the lore in terms of how you are progressing in this game overall. But talking from a game standpoint, right? This is the best paced God of War game to date. And yes, I'm including 2018. I am including that. I think overall, this game gives you abilities and weapons and lore story payoffs in such a way that is satisfying, keeps you hooked, and you don't want to not play this game when you're going through the story. I fundamentally agree with that. Like, I think that, yes, this game has better pacing than 2018. 110%. In terms of its combat,
2 minutes.
It has rewarding unlocks. You have abilities that were not only elevated from the first God of War, but they understand full-heartedly that at its core, the old God of War games are very much combo-based. It's a very fast-paced action combo-based game, and those abilities really lend itself to stringing those along and making that combo gauge go higher and higher as you progress, as you get better weapons, as you're upgrading your weapons as well. Like, it all flows in to the way that this game just allows you to feel powerful as you gradually progress in a very I feel one-to-one way that makes it super satisfying. The set pieces in this game are incredible. How they were able to do this on the PS2 is beyond me. And what's fascinating about this game, I did a little, like a little bit of tease on it, where the Sisters of Fate allow you to achieve time travel in such a way where this game, in actuality, in real time, takes place in the matter of maybe an hour in real world time, which is fascinating from that whole standpoint. And the showdown at the end is very, very moving. There's a lot of pivotal things that happen in this that tie directly to 2018. I feel it's very important for you to play this game. If you haven't played it and you played 2018, there are certain story beats that just do not hit as much without that context. And this game has the greatest ending probably of all time. I think I might just say that, but you can knock me points for that. But I'm gonna do a 98% motion of yes, this is one of the greatest endings of all time, because the way this game hypes you up for God of War 3, I would have loved to been a kid in 2007 and and been able to finish God of War 3 and how it all ends up, because it's a great ending. And it makes you really want to play God of War 3 after it. So that's been God of War 2, gentlemen.
Good job, Kevin.
Of course.
Does anybody have a question to go out first? All right,
Jack,
time starts now. Jack, go ahead.
I've been asking everyone this, but specifically Kevin, why
Yes.
God of War 2 over the critically acclaimed, beloved, one of the best games of all time, God of War 2018?
You see, God of War 2018 hit a level of mainstream goodness, right? That is very, very typical, right? But God of War 2, I feel, is not talked about a lot, but is talked about amongst the hardcore PlayStation community. That God of War 2 is the best out of the core trilogy for sure. It's just like what I said before. Like, it's just they took what God of War 1 did, and they do what I love out of the sequel. Christian knows this very well. I love when a sequel doubles down on the overall intent of the first game while just refining it. I like refining of the second in a franchise, where then typically we get a third game which does some things different, either works really well or it doesn't. And in God of War's case, I would say it doesn't really work that well in God of War 3. But God of War 2 is that perfect example of a first game refining into a sequel that makes it fantastic.
I have 2 questions that are kind of tied together.
Please.
First, I haven't played any of the God of Wars besides 2018, and the reason for that is because I've never liked Kratos. I think he's very abrasive. I guess similar to Mike's question I had, is there anything about Kratos specifically in God of War 2 that makes him deeper than mad guy who's sad about his family dying? And the other thing I'll ask, because I think this is sort of tied together, you talked a lot about the pacing of 2 being the best of the series. Is there anything else that 2 does better than 2018?
Yeah, I think that there are more chances of like better combat sections in the game. Now that is a little bit hard to say because of course the OG God of Wars are very much hung up on that gameplay, and they have no problem giving you a bunch of different enemies to mow down because that's the point of those games, right? Like Kratos is a mad man. Like he is angry, right? So I just feel like they do a better job at giving you more gameplay instances than 2018. But those are reasons that can be, of course, justified. But for the case of Kratos himself, I think this is the game where he finally realizes how alone he is in this world, right? And even when he's talking to Gaia and talking to the giants, right, it becomes clear that in the end, like, although he comes to terms with, yes, they may be using me as a conduit to overthrow why am I forgetting of
2 minutes also.
oh my god
Calliope.
not Atlantis, the physical Greek world,
Olympus,
where the gods live. Olympus. I almost
Ohio.
said Odyssey. Ohio. Where, like, you know, the giants don't really care about Kratos as a person. They are utilizing him because they've both been screwed and they have a common enemy with the gods, right? And like you see during God of War 2, Kratos understand that, oh man, they really don't care about me either. But at this point, I'm just going to defer to the main objective of this whole arc, which is I need to take care of these Olympian gods, you know? And whether the giants don't care for me as a human, as a person or not, this is the way to go. And I think that takes a level of restraint where he could have just killed them as well, you know? And eventually, you know, God of War 3 happens and that's all said in there. But yeah, I think that we see a level of depth that gets further fleshed out than the first game.
Okay. You got 45 seconds for more questions.
I'd like to ask a question. A lot of people think or will suggest that the Uncharted games became like the current blueprint for Sony first-party studios. But do you feel like God of War 2 might have been the actual blue point for the rest of for Sony's lineup later, where that game's like brisk pacing and storytelling and the way it wraps around set pieces was how Sony went after that game? I don't know if I'm asking this correctly.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that there could be a salient point to really point to that being the case for sure. Like I could definitely see where the Uncharted series gets a little bit of its lineage from, even though it is a very different game than the original God of Wars for sure. But yeah, no, yeah, I could definitely see that. It doesn't get talked about a lot, like it doesn't get really noted from a lot of people from that standpoint, but I can definitely see that for sure. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And that is time. Mike, because we all got questions in, if you have one, feel free.
No question from me. Great presentation. Loved it.
Well done, Kevin. Good job.
Appreciate it. I want to clap for myself.
You deserve it.
So final 2, we got Jack and Omar. Who's next? Let's check this wheel out.
Oh, man.
It looks like that's by like a third.
I'm gonna piss myself.
Just
what is
say it.
Omar. It is Omar's turn.
Hey, let's go.
Omar,
Okay,
what do you need from me here?
Nothing. I didn't bring shit. Sorry,
Okay.
I
I'll
fell
highlight you then.
asleep. Thank you. I'm gonna try switching the mic. Does this work? It is all right.
I can still hear you. I don't know if the mic's
You can hear me? Okay, great. Now I'm gonna push this chair to the side.
He's got the jeans.
I'm Steve Jobs. Hello.
Kevin, are you on time?
Oh shit, I forgot. I was
Okay.
so taken aback by the crowd.
That's incredible.
Can you just pretend that I'm on the stage? I think I'll get cut out.
All right.
Oh wait. No, fuck.
No, you're still good.
We going?
Mr. Jobs, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes.
So, Christian told me to bring a game for the JoyClicks Holla game. And I said to him, fuck that. I'm going to bring 5. 5 games. And I'm going to talk about them. Tennis. Baseball. Golf. Boxing. And bowling. 5 great and fantastic games that generations have enjoyed forever. But wait, tennis, baseball, bowling, boxing, and golf? Baseball, tennis, bowling, golf, something else. That's 5 games. It's 1 game. I'm talking about Wii Sports from 2006. Did you guys ever play that shit? It's crazy. It was released with the Wii, and you had a Wiimote, and you could it was motion controls for the first time. You were doing this with your grandma. I played a game with my grandpa. I never played a game with my grandfather before. It was nuts, and it changed It was a free game with the Nintendo console. Everyone thought was gonna flop. Came out in the same week as a successor to the PS2, and it just became the talk of the town for 2 years. And it changed a whole generation where everyone was talking about motion controls and stuff and playing baseball with their grandparents. Isn't that something?
It is, Steve.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm out of time. I'm out of time. Goodbye. Any questions? Sorry.
How much time do you have left?
He has 3 minutes.
That's all I had. That's all I had.
He has 3
My
minutes.
face hurts from laughing so much.
Honestly, that was fucking incredible.
Well, thank you.
Yes, well done. Good presentation.
Appreciate it.
God damn it.
Oh.
Omar. What a king.
I have a question.
Yes, you with the Nintendo 64 shirt.
Yes. So a big point of your argument is that the motion controls were a big moment. Do you think that because of the success of Wii Sports and the Wii and motion controls, the competitors of PlayStation and Xbox failing so miserably to make their own equivalents and their own sports games it bolsters Wii Sports' success at doing this?
Absolutely. When you have small-time video game company Nintendo coming to the scene and really innovating with a product that was less than half the price of the PS3, doing it so much better than the PlayStation Move and the 6-axis controller did at the time, it was really something incredible to be marveled at, because Nintendo doesn't have the capital that Bill Gates does with Microsoft, and he made the Kinect, and that shit sucks. And you look at the Wii, and that just worked. It just worked, you know? So thank you for that, Christian. You're right. Good. Appreciate it. Any more questions? Mike Connors.
Okay. My question is, couldn't you just play real sports?
Wow.
Jack, you had a question.
Oh man.
Is Wii Sports more than simply a gimmick that was just launched on every Wii? Is there more to this game than just the afternoon you might have with your family?
Yeah, man, it's that. I play with my grandma. Isn't that incredible?
It is.
It's my grandma, Jack. You got a problem with my grandma? She just wanted to play games with me her whole life. You might. Next question. I don't know. I think if you want to call it a gimmick, it's totally a gimmick in a lot of ways. But I think it's a well-designed one, and I think it's the accessibility and the way you can get into that game so fast, I think, is really what made it so special. So honestly, it is a gimmick, but I think in a lot of ways it's to its strength, if that makes sense. And I still played that thing for I'm still playing it now, to be honest. So it's a gimmick that lasts, which I think is kind of crazy. But thank you for the question. Yes, Kevin.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Drops. Thank you.
Of course.
I am of the personal opinion that Wii Sports transcends games, right? Like it's really a cultural phenomenon. Like it's really a societal, cultural type of importance. I truly feel that. But can you speak a little bit about the certified club bangers? One that would play like when you beat someone in boxing, do you is there any commentary on those, what I would call certified club bangers?
There is this is maybe a bigger conversation, but there is a suite of the way the Wii sounds and the music and any of those games titled with Wii in it. They just sound marvelous. And I cannot sing a song for you today, but I'm sure we're all familiar with the way Wii Sports sounds and appears. It's ingrained in your brain. It's ingrained in my grandma's brain too, even, it's something. Man, I should have got my grandma here. She'd back me up.
Also, my grandma did buy me a Wii.
Yo, isn't that something?
It was cool. It was a very, very cool thing. It was a very, very cool thing. She said she got it from a Best Buy vending machine at the airport. It was great.
They were hard to get.
Do you think any of the sports in this package aren't realized as well as any of the others?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about boxing and baseball, to be honest. Oh, wait, no, boxing and golf. I like baseball. Wait, I kind of wait, no, I just don't like boxing, but golf and baseball are cool. I'm sorry. Okay. But tennis and, God, what was that? I think tennis and bowling were the standouts, right? I feel like that's the essential ones. But I'm not. Hopefully, I didn't ruin my argument there. I'm sorry, Mike, about your question. By the way, I think real sports are just hard, man. Sometimes I just don't want to go and talk to people and talk to imagine being in a baseball team. Could you imagine that? Instead of just playing with your grandma, you're playing with 30 dudes. Fuck that.
I don't actually expect you to answer that question.
Agree. Oh, important question.
Okay.
I want to, but go ahead. Go ahead, Christian.
Okay.
Why not Wii Sports Resort?
Damn it! I was gonna say that.
Okay, good.
Wii Sports Resorts costs $50, and I didn't want to fucking play it. It needs to be free. It needs to be free.
But is it free if it's coming with a $200 console?
Kevin, you had a question?
No, it was, I just had are you also including the seminal, expansion, if you will?
No,
that is Wii
truthfully,
Sports Resort.
I honestly never played it because it was a hurdle for me to buy that Wii Sports Resort package. It was $50, and it came with that motion controller thing. And to be honest, the motion plus, yeah. And so I can't really speak too much on it. I will say in general, I feel when the controls on the Wii got more complicated than that original Wiimote, I've always felt that it maybe made games too complicated. So I don't know. I never picked it up. So personally, I really can't comment on this. But yeah, I think there's a really there's a simplicity to the original Wii Sports that I think is still why I favor that kind of game.
We got time left.
Holy shit! I forgot to.
Yeah, I thought that went long.
That's probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's probably time.
Well done.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Oh,
thank you.
Incredible. Because I know he was talking about the phone. What was it? He was saying phone, iPod, and then something else.
Yeah.
It was three things. Yeah,
I'm talking about three things, everyone. Three products: a telephone, an iPod, and an internet communications device.
That internet communication device. Yeah.
I'm glad you got that. I love that shit. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
So that leaves Jack Martin. Jack does have a PowerPoint lined up. So once again, non-presenters, please turn off your cams and look away as we set this up real quick.
Would you believe that I have to go into my system preferences and allow Discord to share my screen?
I would.
You see, that's why we all got to just get Max. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
I
There's no
I got a
drivers.
Mac.
I think he's on a Mac. Kevin.
Oh shit.
Kevin,
never
you're not making a good case.
Oh no.
The Mac would not make it in to the Hall of Game.
Would you believe I have to quit Discord and come back?
Go for it. Go for it.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Well, we can do a recap, right? While Jack's
Sure.
doing that. So this is the Hall of Game where we're all presenting a case for. Oh, that was fast. Okay. A case for a game we think should be the best. Omar has brought Wii Sports. Kevin has brought God of War 2. I brought Super Mario 64, and Mike has brought Halo 3. So all that is left is Jack's pick. We are setting that up momentarily.
I wonder what Jax is gonna
Stand
do.
by.
Also, I will do a much better job at timers. I got too distracted by Omar's presentation. So
Thank you for that. I paid him to do that, so
Mhm.
great.
So
you know my Cash App, right, Omar?
Oh yeah, of course.
non-presenters.
I believe I'm all set.
Okay.
Christian, maybe you want to test and let me know.
Yes. Non-presenters. Cams off. Look away. Please
Got
and
it.
thank you.
Okay.
Also, Jack, when you're ready for a countdown, just let me know, bro. I got you.
Will do.
All right. Let me highlight this for you, Jack. You look all set on my end. So once you're ready, you can cue Kevin for the time.
Kevin, you can give me the time.
3, 2, 1, 5 minutes.
Eagle-eyed viewers, we're going to be talking about Batman Arkham City. As you can see in the back of my screen here, I got some Batman stuff up here. If you don't know, this game came out in 2011, sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum, which came out 2 years prior in 2009. Of course, this was released during a year of heavy hitters like Skyrim, Uncharted 3, games like that, and it won several Game of the Year awards that year. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I really feel like Arkham City features one of the most memorable Batman stories. It incorporates some of his best villains, and it makes some of his lesser-known villains, like Hugo Strange, it gives them more of the spotlight, and it gives them pretty interesting stories that they hadn't had before. And I think this game's identity as a video game furthers the idea that the player is Batman, and I think it's important that this particular story is a video game. So let's talk about that. I think the free-flowing combat is some of the best third-person action gameplay of all time. It is one of those easy-to-learn, hard-to-master combat systems. Like, you have the simple punch and counter mechanics, but it becomes much more nuanced with quick gadgets and different enemy types. And, of course, it's Batman. You got some stealth sections. They feel especially strategic because you are perched up top. You map out what you want to do in a room and how you want to clear them out without being spotted. And Batman, of course, is just a man after all. So I like the idea that every enemy feels dangerous. Like, any punch will affect your health pretty adversely, and of course any gunshot will take down some health. Of course, wouldn't be a Batman game without some rogues gallery, and of course he features some of the best rogues gallery in comics. And this game particularly uses his bosses in pretty interesting ways. Of course, the Joker's here, Penguin and Solomon Grundy's a stand-up, but the biggest one is the boss fight against Mr. Freeze, where you can't really take him on head-on, and you basically have to use all of your arsenal to take him down, and it gets harder on harder difficulties, and you just need to basically use every gadget at your disposal. And I would say it's reminiscent of a Metal Gear boss fight. So this game, like Arkham Asylum, really respects the legacy of Batman. A lot of people from the Batman the Animated Series returned, like writer Paul Dini, Kevin Conroy, and Mark Hamill, of course, to return to voice Batman and the Joker. And like Christopher Nolan's take on Batman, it really takes it seriously, and it really cemented the idea that Batman was a serious character and not sort of the campy character from Joel Schumacher's movies or the 1960s. If you've heard me talk about this game, you've heard me say that it is probably the perfect sequel. Like what Kevin was saying with God of War 2, this is the sequel that sort of expands on Arkham Asylum in any possible way. A more detailed story, an open world that invited more exploration than Arkham Asylum did, and one of the best combat systems in any game. Really makes this sort of the ideal sequel and the standout in the series. So I would say this game's formula definitely influenced the industry. There's a few things about the Arkham formula, like the counter-based combat, open world, collectibles, the detective vision, which I was using in Dishonored recently, and a convincing story. So I think this was most noticeably applied to WB's other game, the Middle-earth games, which featured some very similar things. I would say Marvel's Spider-Man is almost a one-for-one adaptation of this formula. Of course, making it a little bit more specific to Spider-Man. Even Ghost of Tsushima had very similar gameplay systems where you can mix up your approach, whether it's stealth or up-close action. So 10 years later, I still feel like this game feels modern. You could jump into this and it plays like nowadays video games pretty much. It does feel somewhat sluggish, but I would say that Batman should feel a little bit stiff compared to counterparts like Spider-Man and stuff like that. I feel like pretty much everything holds up. The open world is mostly fun to fly around in, but it doesn't really offer too much in terms of replay value. But there's challenge rooms that you can go and chase after for trophies and all that. So that adds, and some leaderboards as well. So that adds some replay value. So my final thoughts here. I really think that this game delivered on the promise set up by its predecessor, in that licensed games don't necessarily have to be this cash grab that they were in the mid 2000s. I think it tells a compelling story in its own right, but I think it establishes itself as one of the best third-person action games of all time. For me personally, it got me going to check out Batman comics. This was kind of the renaissance of Batman, where Christopher Nolan's movies were coming out, and this game and this series came out in a similar time period. So this really got me to go check out comics, graphic novels, and all that. So even if this isn't inducted, I think you should play this video game.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yes.
Goddamn.
All right. Very nice. Screen off. We can turn cameras back on.
So I was gonna give you a 1 minute warning, and I said it. I forgot I was muted. So that was a big L on my part. But I then again tried to do 30 seconds. Still muted. I don't know how that happened, but we got the 10 seconds, so we're okay.
We got it.
Okay. So Kevin, yeah, go ahead with time whenever somebody has a question.
Absolutely. 5 minutes starting now.
Mr. Mike Connors.
So you've been asking people questions about, oh, why not the predecessors in a video game or whatever. But as I understand it, after Arkham City, there were some video games as well, right? Some Arkham video games as well. Why didn't you choose those? You kind of like told us about why you didn't choose Arkham Asylum over this game. But why did those just not build upon this in a way, or?
That's a good question. So Arkham Origins was the prequel to the Arkham series as a whole. It was developed by a different developer. It still nailed what made the Arkham series a good series, but I don't think it improved upon Arkham City. It was sort of a good side story, but not a full-fledged refinement of the product. And Arkham Knight is a really good sequel. I don't think it stands up against Arkham City. There's a few things with that game. It starts you off, it doesn't like sort of narrow you into the story itself. It starts fairly open and it's kind of overwhelming at first. A lot of people have issues with the Batmobile integration in that game. And the head writer, Paul Dini, from the animated series, didn't return for that game, so the story wasn't up to the same caliber as Arkham City.
Thank you.
Mr. Kevin Diaz.
You talked a lot about how like this game opened your eyes to Batman in a new way, and I remember talking to Christian a lot about that too. As I was playing through the Arkham series, like it was my first true foray into who Batman was, and got me interested in Batman as a whole. Right? Do you have a particular part of the game or like a particular gameplay instance where that really was emphasized for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily any particular moments, but what I really loved about the game was its integration of the character bios, where if you're like collecting Riddler trophies or you're just progressing in the game, you get more information about characters, and you can just go essentially read up on their backstory, like when they were first introduced in the comics, what their sort of backstory is. You also get some audio logs of them speaking to particular people. That really got me interested, and I really like the history aspect of that, and it got me into checking out like graphic novels like The Long Halloween, stuff like that. So yeah. Omar. Mr. Omar Nagbe.
Thank you. So I know this is a comic book game, but even for someone like me, I find it hard to wrap my head around the idea of a city for prisoners. Isn't the setting of Arkham Asylum just that much more compelling?
So a lot of people do prefer the sort of isolated setting of Arkham Asylum, and yes, it does seem a little silly to just expand that into a city. But with the story, when you learn about the story, you understand that Arkham City was built for nefarious purposes. So by the end of the game, you do understand that there is a purpose to this sort of being a silly expansion of Arkham Asylum. But I do understand a lot of people have that affinity to the isolated Arkham Asylum setting, but I think I prefer cities more open, varied environment throughout the city.
Do you think the awesome side quests that give you a lot of really cool moments are worth repeating for the Platinum Trophy?
Yes, that sounds like a very specific question for someone who needs the Platinum Trophy. Yes, I think this game offers a lot in terms of replay value, not in exploring the world, but going back in and checking out those side stories. You have cool ones with like the Calendar Man, where you can return on specific days of the year, or just change your console clock like everyone else did, and just progress that way. It's really interesting. You have the Riddler, where you keep getting trophies and saving hostages and doing. It's a great puzzle game inside of a third-person action game. That's fun repeating. You can go call Zaz, and he'll like give you weird, creepy stories about that. And it's always fun to just go back and hear some of the best villains in any comics history, just giving their spiel and listening to them and taking them down. So yes, I would say it's worth replaying.
Do you genuinely like doing the Riddler stuff though? Like all the little trophies and the little puzzles. Like there's a lot of them. Like, do you think that there's too much of that, or?
So a big complaint about this game in terms of collectibles is that there's just like a shit ton compared to Arkham Asylum. But for me, yes, I do like playing those. I would admit that there are probably too many, but collectibles are always sort of just meant to be side objectives and not, the main thing. So if you want to go in and throw on a podcast and just look up where to find all the solutions to that, you can. Like I said earlier, I think it's a really good puzzle game, and those collectibles are often hidden inside of puzzles. So I think those are always fun to do and just sort of mess around with this.
I agree. I just had to ask. Good presentation.
Good presentation. Also, I commend Christian for giving critical answers for a game that I know he loves.
Oh, yeah. This is in my top 5.
Critical questions. I'm sorry. Critical questions. I'm sorry. I was like critical questions for a game that he loves. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. Those are our nominees. We have, once again, Wii Sports, brought by Omar, God of War 2, brought by Kevin, Super Mario 64, brought by me, Batman Arkham City, brought by Jack, and Halo 3, brought by Mike. So, the next portion of this induction ceremony is the hard part. We are going to be voting one at a time in the order of presenting. So, I believe I'll be going first, followed by Mike, Kevin, Omar, and Jack. The way it will appear, everybody will mute, and the one that like turns off everything so you can't hear whoever is talking in the call. And if you want to like look away, whatever. We're doing like confessional stuff. So I'll go first. Everybody else will go away. I'll talk through my points to the camera. I'll give my reasoning for giving a game 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point.
So
Go ahead.
I'm like hanging up. Am I leaving the call and coming back in? Is that what's
Deafin,
happening?
right?
I think
Deafin
Deafin is the
okay.
thing that does it.
Okay. Let me see.
So what will happen is similar to the way it was presented. One person will be spotlighted. They'll talk through their thoughts as they're voting. And for those that are voting, you will be either texting or DMing me the title of the game and then the point value you're giving to it. So if you wanted to give 3 points to Super Mario 64, you would say Super Mario 64 3. Okay, if that makes it. We're not doing like.
Sorry, you can't stack points though, right?
No,
I can only give one of my points, but there are 3 points and they're all weighted.
Yes.
So
there's a 3 point, a 2 point, and a 1 point pick.
Okay, big point, medium point, small point.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
okay,
It's like medals essentially. You can only give one.
Right, but
makes sense.
like 1 doesn't mean that's your number 1 pick. Like
Right.
you're telling me the game, and then 3, that's the one you want to give the most points to because it's a point system. Do you have questions?
And we aren't DMing it to you. We are just speaking out loud, but everyone else will be deafened? Or
Yeah, so you're talking through it and saying what you're doing for the audience, but you are DMing me so I can tally. And we just won't hear we won't hear your process.
We can't hear your
of voting.
rationale.
I see.
And we can talk about it a bit after the fact.
Got it. Never mind.
So we all good?
So there's no influence. That's the thinking behind that, essentially.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Are we good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask one more question real quick?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, please. I want
Like,
this to be
okay.
completely crystal clear. What's up?
So, okay, when I'm talking to you, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna give a big point to fucking Destiny, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving the 3 points to Destiny. That's why I say out loud to you, but then I also DM it to you, so you have it.
Yes,
there.
because I won't be listening.
Okay. Okay.
I will just have either DM
Oh.
or text.
Got it.
When you're talking, Omar, you're talking to the people.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, not
Okay.
anyone here, but we're
You're gonna have a
but-
fireside chat. with
Yeah.
the audience.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
just you solo, and then we're gonna tell Christian privately in DM or text
Yes.
our tally.
How should you know? How should you let us know that you're done?
I can
Two
text
thumbs
you.
up.
I can
Oh.
text you, or because if we remember the order,
Message in
we
the
can do it.
Discord.
I'll just message who's next.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me just write down all the noms.
And wait, and am I sending you my tally list now, Christian, or like
As you're
when I
voting.
speak?
When you're
As I'm-
speaking,
okay.
because
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Because-
I'll listen now.
maybe talking through it might change things. You don't know, so take as
Should
much
we
time as
have
you
a
want.
time limit?
No,
or-
I mean I don't think anyone would take longer than like 3 minutes. So like, talk through your process. If it's hard, talk through it. Take as much time as you want. But yeah. Any other questions? Again, you cannot vote for your own game. And yes, I think that is everything. I don't know what I'm voting for yet, so this will be fun. So everybody else can deafen. Because I'm going first, so okay. And we all good? We all
Wait,
good?
how do I deafen?
I
Sorry.
think it's Mike. I think in Discord, like the bottom left where it shows you your connection, I think it's the headphone button. If you see that,
Of course, this would happen to me.
it's all good, dude. No rush, no rush. I think bottom left.
Yeah.
You see it? Okay. Everybody's deafened. Chat. It's you and me now. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. So let's just run through the presentations. Wii Sports was very well presented, well defended. I agree that is an excellent game that should deserve recognition. God of War 2 and Halo 3 I've not played, so I think both of them were presented well. I thought Mike and Kevin both made good points. I think just out of the simple fact that I haven't played those games, I can only give them 1 point, maybe. I don't know, it feels bad. Because Kevin, I don't like God of War. It's an anomaly that I like 2018. So I don't think I would give points to... Let's just start at the top. 3 points to Batman Arkham City, because that is one of the best games ever made. Easily. That is an incredible video game. That is one of my favorites of all time. Jack defended it well. There's very little issues with that game, and it's just great. It's the best, one of the best games ever made. I will give 2 points to Wii Sports because I think that it is, like Omar said, or like Kevin said, actually, it transcends games. It's a moment. It's very impressive that works. It's a very fun game too, and it opened games up to a wide audience. When it comes to God of War and Halo 3 for the 1 point, also Owen, what is up? That's really hard. Mike made some good points, but I don't know if I heard enough about, like, I don't know. Kevin's main point was that God of War 2 is better than 2018. I have a hard time believing that. I don't know if he sold it well enough, so I'll give 1 point to Halo 3. So there we go. That is it, chat. Enjoy the rest of the voting. Okay. Who's after me? After me was Mike. I think Mike is next. Mike should be next. It's Mike.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Excellent. I will mute myself and good.
$64 gold.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was deafened, so the stream could not hear what you were saying. So I have undeafened. I have my headphones off, so I can't hear you, but you can reiterate your points. I'm very sorry about that.
All right, no problem. All right. So Christian, you're going to be able to hear me. Anyways, I was saying how I'm going to approach this from a gold, silver, and bronze perspective. Out of all four of these games, Super Mario 64, God of War 2, Arkham City, and Wii Sports, I probably have the most playtime with Wii Sports, but I don't really have playtime with many of these. Out of presentations, definitely Omar's, I think, was most creative. Though I think the Super Mario 64 presentation and points were probably the most compelling. So I don't think I just really liked Omar's presentation, so I'm going to give him the bronze medal. And I'm going to give Super Mario 64 the gold medal. And it's honestly, I think Kevin did a really good job sort of defending his points for God of War 2. So I'm going to give that the silver. So Super Mario 64 gold, God of War 2 silver, and Wii Sports bronze. Christian, did you hear that? Christian, I just sent you.
All right. I believe next up is Kevin.
All right. So the first Hall of Game, a lot of good games were brought up. I'm not gonna lie, and I think that overall everyone did a very, very good job at making their point. I think I'm gonna start from the 1 point and go up to the 3 points, right? So my first point award is going to Wii Sports, right? Because I honestly feel that game, I think, is one of the less gimmicky games. You know what I'm saying? Like I really feel that, like, at its core, Wii Sports is still a great game to this day, and will always transcend that. So definitely got to give up to Wii Sports for that 1 point. The second point, honestly, I kind of bag Christian a lot about this game. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps I don't see the light in this game, but I feel that he allowed me to once again like understand that a lot of modern games take from 64, and that has to mean something, right? In spite of like looking at 64, that looks like something that like I just do not want to play. It just looks janky as all hell, but you know, if there are fundamental gameplay mechanics there that have stood the test of time and are that are legitimately good, then I think it's worth giving it that 2 point spot overall. So, you know, shout out to 64. Even if I still don't see it, I think that there were some clear cases there where it definitely checked out. And I think number 3, this one honestly did not think I was gonna do it, but after mellowing it out on it, after really, you know, thinking about it here, I think it makes the most sense to give it to Batman Arkham City, you know, because I think I aligned a lot with what Jack was saying. I really do feel that, you know, Arkham City is a game that, you know, and like the Batman franchise as a whole from Rocksteady is a franchise where you don't necessarily like need to know the whole ins and outs of Batman's history. Like it's told right there for you. It's a great experience. I love the gameplay of it and just that ending. You know I said God of War 2's ending is one of the best. Arkham City is by far one of the best endings in gaming for sure. In just terms of like, you just do not expect it. You don't think they're gonna do it, and then they do it, and it's for real. So shout out to Arkham City. I think that's definitely my 3-point spot for sure. So I think honestly that's pretty much all I gotta say about these games. Everyone did a great job at their games for sure. I love my God of War 2, but I had some really stiff competition in this first Hall of the game.
Okay, is this working? Okay. I'm gonna assume it's working. Hello, hey. So, yeah, I wrote my votes. I think my first point is gonna go to God of War 2, the game Kevin brought, because man, God of War 2 is a cool game, and I really like Kevin's case for it. I think it feels like those early games are getting forgotten in a way. Those early God of War games, despite the fact they were all pretty compelling for the time. 2018 feels like it's kind of erasing the legacy of those games, and you know, 2 really was a groundbreaking moment, and I was kind of hinting at it a little bit, but I really do feel like God of War 2 is almost in a way a blueprint for Sony games after the fact, after that game came out, you know, with its set pieces and storytelling. It's something. Then my second point, so this is the number 2 point, is going to go to Mike's Halo 3. Halo 3 was a crazy time when it came out in terms of the marketing and advertising campaign. Like, it was just nuts. I remember this one ad where it had the cartoon, the action figures in it, and like they were all dying, and it was like finish the fight. It was so sick. And I came to Halo pretty late. I ended up playing through the series when I got an Xbox One through the Master Chief Collection in 2014. 2014 was when that came out. And yeah, I had a great time. Those games hold up really well. And 3 is the cream of the crop. So yeah, despite the fact I got teabagged a few times, I think Mike brought a great argument and a great compelling case. Fuck yeah, Halo 3. And then my the big point is going to go to Super Mario 64, which is, that's the best game ever made, probably. I don't know if Christian can hear me right now because I can hear his chair. But look, Super Mario 64 is like, it's still the best playing game ever in this day and age, where it just performs super well. It controls perfectly on an N64 controllers too, and it just got vibes to it. The whole castle is the N64 hardware is so special, I guess, and like the fucking the backwards long jump is so funny. The fact that that's in the game and you can skip literally 90% of that game if you're just having fun. And not only is it just like a crazy exploit, it's just really fun to perform and perfect. Like I had a really this game is important and close to me personally. Christian brought a great argument too, though. But for me, like I was streaming this game on Twitch in September, and someone told me like the chat had tried to convince me to do the backwards long jump, despite the fact I had no idea what it was, and they managed to teach me the method. They managed to teach me it through the game, and yeah, it was just an incredible moment. And honestly, it's the reason I'm still streaming on Twitch today. It was life changing. Honestly, that game's awesome, and it's full of secrets and surprises, and just there's something to that game that feels almost magical. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that game. Whew. All right, that's it for me. Let me send this to Christian. I'm good, and I'm out.
Is it my turn? I think it might be my turn. Excellent.
Jack,
Okay.
you're good.
Thank you very much. This is a good one. So, I'll start with my number one. Is it the most influential game on this list? No, I don't think so. But I think it is the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 I can think of. And it's a game I probably would have argued down the line. That would be Halo 3. Look at that shit. I got this game, I think, in 2009, and it just has everything going for it in terms of an incredible gameplay. I think Mike nailed it in terms of like how well-rounded this game is. A lot of shooters have one mode that is better than the rest, but I think with Halo 3's, all of Halo 3's modes, they are all pretty comparable. The campaign, I think, is the best in the series. Same with the multiplayer. And the ability to mess around in custom maps with your friends was incredible. And remember, this was a game that came out pretty much at the onset of online gaming on consoles. So you can imagine if you guys were around playing that game, this is just sort of the onset of that. So that was incredibly fun. So Halo 3 has 3 points for me. Now, I'll continue talking about the game that I don't think I'm going to vote for. I'm thinking I'm not going to vote for God of War 2. I think if Kevin brought God of War 18, it would have been a little bit harder of a decision for me. But I never played God of War 2, and I'm not familiar with conversations about that game, but I think God of War 2018 is probably one of the best games of all time. And I think I might have voted for that if that was up here. So God of War 2, unfortunately, I'm not voting for. Now, it is between Wii Sports and then Mario 64 for me. I never really messed around with Mario 64. Although, of course, I recognize its importance. Wii Sports, I've played as much as probably anyone else did. I think based off of Omar's incredible presentation, I will probably put Wii Sports as my number 2 slot. Because I think maybe out of all of these games, I think it is probably the most important in terms of video games. Like, you will see Wii Sports in a museum if it's not already, because that was just a moment. And it's one of those rare games that, like what Kevin said, it kind of supersedes video games altogether. And Omar even mentioned it. Like, he's playing it with his like older members of his family that never played video games. And I think if you played that, it is like, I think a lot of people have experience with that, where pretty much anyone in their family played that game. I also think it's incredibly accessible. I don't know if we ever talked about that when you were talking about this game, but for people who actually like can't play sports, this is something that they could have in their living room. That's obviously not one for one, but it does give them that communal aspect that video games often do. So I think that's a really good point for that. And yeah, I think Wii Sports is an incredibly important game. So I think the game I'd give a number 1 would be Mario 64. If I played this more, I might have given this my number 2 spot, but I played it maybe like for a couple minutes on a friend's N64 before. Obviously, this game is incredibly influential. It really started the 3D platformer genre, really. The transition from 2D Mario to 3D Mario was incredibly smooth with this game. I know a lot of people particularly love this game, and yeah, this would be the number 1 point for me. So again, if I play that game more, Super Mario 64 might be the number 2 spot, but it's getting the 1 from me. So I'm gonna lock that in, and I'm gonna tell everyone that they can come back. Thanks for all watching. Owen's in the chat. Kevin Max in the chat. Thank you all for watching. I would like to hear what you guys think. All right, I'm letting people know.
Okay, next time I have a better way of doing this. Next time, I think I have a better way of doing this.
Okay.
For sure.
I have to just add Jack's things. I'm going to verify for the count, but in the meantime, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
I glanced at my monitor when Jack was presenting, and I saw something fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Halo 3, baby.
Oh,
That's my number 1.
Well, wait for this.
man.
Oh god, this is getting chroma keyed out. But
I think next time we should vote this
Oh, yeah.
like vote via
the
like
manual?
text or
Oh, yeah.
Discord DM, right? And then Christian announces the final tallies, and then we all go around explaining what was our point breakdown and why.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
I think that might be a better way to go about it. But damn, bro, you got
Okay.
some. Is that Halo 4? Or is that
Paraphernalia. This is Halo 3, baby. The best
Halo
of the
3?
bunch.
Okay, I see.
Dude,
see.
I got
Okay.
the Halo 3 Master Chief helmet somewhere around here.
Ooh.
The cat one. I think they were my brother used to work at GameStop, and I guess they just couldn't, they just had too many of them, and at some point they were like giving them out, and I just have it.
Damn.
Oh yeah, no, big Halo fan over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Needler, is that a game? I mean, is
Yeah.
that a gun? Needler.
yeah.
Okay, there we go. What else?
Who can forget
the
the Needler?
pistols OP in Halo
Oh.
multiplayer.
Only in Halo 1. And
Oh,
maybe Halo
really?
2. Yeah, they nerfed it in Halo 3. Magnum's
Gotcha,
awful
I
in
see.
Halo 3.
I
Now
see.
Halo 1, that's a game.
That is a game.
Mm.
And it
I'm
is
just
quite
kidding.
good.
I was so happy to see Halo here, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought everybody did very good presentations.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
fun. I had a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm waiting for verification, but we should.
Wait, what do you? Wait, is there another party in this? Is
One
there-
of my
is there, like,
friends was tallying as well, so I'm checking to make sure we're good. That I didn't miscount.
Interesting. Okay.
Double checking because I did it by tallies because I was originally breaking it down by like who voted for what, but
By tallies, you mean like lines?
yes, by
Like
ones.
that? Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Because it's the cumulative point value. I'm double checking this.
Are you guys gonna come back with Halo Infinite? Because it seems like you've been out, Mike.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
you're saying I should bring Halo Infinite next?
No, are you gonna play it when it comes out?
Oh yeah,
Or-
for sure, man.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
So
I want an Xbox.
I have the results.
Maybe. Okay.
We have the totals. I have fact checked. They're the exact same count as mine. This is how we're gonna do it. I will go through least votes to most votes, and we'll just
That's
cross
gonna
them off.
hurt.
Yeah. So
Okay.
coming in last place with 3 votes, God of War 2.
Fuck y'all. Fucking hate all of you. All of y'all. Fuck y'all. You know what? It's okay. I understand. Again, I think I said during the thing, not the most popular, talked about, great game. But you know what? I'm gonna stand by it. Honestly.
I think it's great.
God War
Kevin.
2's a great game. I don't care what any of y'all think. It is what it is, you know. So hey, I went out swinging. I said my piece. It's all good, you know. Some people lack the vision. It's okay. It's fine. That's all good. You know,
So
I'm not mad.
we have a 3-way tie for the second game. There are 3 games that each got 6 points, but I'll announce the winner first, I guess. The one that got the most points, the first ever inductee into the Hall of Game, with 9 points, Super Mario 64.
Oh,
Wow.
How?
What do you mean how?
Really?
it's just too good.
Huh. Damn.
So
That's totally not. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Batman, Halo 3, and Wii Sports all received 6 votes.
Wow. We need to deliberate.
This is
That's
fucked.
crazy.
So I think the way we settled on this was that we wouldn't decide. I think it was like it would come down to a community vote based if there was a tie, and they would be the ones that decide. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We'd like to stick to that.
What if we just fight?
Can we do that?
Okay.
I can
out of-
post on
right?
Twitter.
Okay. Which?
That's a good one.
Wait. What are the 3 ties?
Batman, Arkham City, Wii Sports, and Halo 3.
Okay, so that means it's me and you, Christian, that would do this tiebreaker right here. Right?
That's
If
one
we're-
way, yeah.
We could do it that way, yeah.
So, honestly speaking, Christian, out of those 3 games, what do you think deserves the second slot?
Wait. Do you guys want to debate this while we leave?
No.
I want to
Okay.
listen.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I want to listen to
so-
it, but I didn't know that's
I
fair.
don't-
Because
do we want to do it this way,
I-
or do you want to have? Because I think
I'd rather do it this way. I think
Okay.
personally.
Because
Yeah.
I have a pick out of those 3 that I think really should be in the Hall of Game.
so.
You know.
Well, I guess
Maybe take it to Twitter. Actually, fuck.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I think us deliberating on that, like, neither of us have history with Halo, so we're just judging it off of Mike's presentation. I don't know if that's fair. Because I can tell you, like, what I gave my 3 points to out of it, because I gave my 3 points to one of these games.
I mean, I ranked 64 and I never played it, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, and like I still
Yeah.
ranked it, right? I mean,
I would rather this panel decides the fate rather than Twitter. I
Okay.
guess.
if we
No, I don't
want
mind.
to Twitter, like I'm totally cool with it. Like
No,
I get the
I
I
think
get the bias of like me not playing Halo.
right. I think
you
it's
know?
because we both haven't, and because this is a scenario where like the order has decided all 3 of these games are worthy. So I don't know like why giving you and me the extra oomph would be fair. That being
Well-
said, I gave 3 points to Batman. So
I
This
gave 3 points to Batman too. I was gonna say Batman deserves to be on this, for sure.
So, order, what do we think? Considering Kevin and I both gave it 3 points, do we want to solidify that, or should we just
Well, then
post
we're
it to
then
Twitter?
we're fucked.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So yeah, I mean, out of our 2-point breakdowns, what did we give Batman,
Yeah, so,
Halo 3, and Wii Sports respectively?
so
Yeah.
maybe, sorry, suggesting since we didn't tie, we just tally the votes again.
we
Out
tally
of R2.
out of our 2 out of those 3 games.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
might work.
Yeah.
Is everybody else cool with that?
I'm confused. So you're saying that since Kevin and you both gave 3 points to Batman Arkham City, all right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Okay, so that makes
we're-
it the winner in this
Yeah.
way. Okay.
So we're doing like another count, a smaller count of me and Christian's totals of these 3 games in contention. You know.
Okay,
Does
but isn't
that
that
make sense?
isn't it Arkham City?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Do we think
Is
that's
it-
fair though, or should we?
fine with me to be honest, but I will say, you think Arkham City is a better game than Wii Sports?
I'm sorry. Hey, you made the board, Omar. You really did. And honestly, now that like I think about it, I put 64 in 2 points. I think I should have swapped them too, to be honest with you. But
So,
it stands.
It's all right. It's all right.
is that what we want to do? Because I feel like that might be messy in the future. Because
Nah, fine with me.
If we-
to be honest,
It
That's fine.
it seems like you're pushing for the Twitter vote, and I'm down for a Twitter vote if you really want to. I'm not gonna hold it back.
I just
Christian.
feel
You know what I'm
bad
saying?
having it be on the both of us and like weighting our points more because I didn't want to have anybody's points weighted more than anybody else's.
I'd rather get mad at you two than anonymous Twitter in my mind.
Okay.
No, it's okay. You can. I don't really mind.
I'm not gonna speak on this because clearly my game would win out of this, so I don't think my opinion really counts. in
Throw
this
it. You know
situation.
what? Let's just throw it on Twitter. Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
No, you guys did it too.
Whatever
Don't let me-
I
whatever
know-
the order decides.
Here's the thing.
I'm
If,
not actually upset. Like,
if I was in that scenario, though, I would, and like if Omar was the only one that voted for 64, because he's the only, like,
yeah, you.
I would feel bad.
I was fucked up bringing that, man.
I'm
'Cause
sorry.
you
I'm
know
sorry. I'm
it's
sorry.
gonna get-
I know.
It's okay.
But I would personally feel bad with the system if like at the end to break a tie, like the two people who might have not voted for any of, like, we could revote again. I don't know if that.
No, let's not vote again. Let's just do a triple.
Okay.
Hey, Christian.
Yes.
I saw your Twitch stream. You seem real pissed at Arkham City. You sure you want to go down this route?
Damn.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
Damn.
So
Hey, Mike. Wii Sports is pretty cool, right? What if?
Omar, I am with you, bro.
Come on.
I am with you, man.
It doesn't sound like you're with me, and you give 3 points to Arkham City. So fuck.
Listen, look. Listen, I didn't want to leave you off the board. Okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
I gave
I
2
really-
points to Wii
I
Sports. I
really-
thought that was great.
I
It's
really
a very good
didn't
pick.
want to.
All right.
I
Well,
also
thank
gave
you.
2 points. To
I
Wii
gave
Sports.
1 point to Wii Sports. So
Oh.
I gave
Wait.
one. So
What if we did it of the game that the majority of the panel all gave something to if it's a tie?
Yeah,
that's
that,
a good idea.
that might be a
That's better
Twitter.
weighting.
I agree
I
with
wouldn't mind.
I agree with Omar in terms of the Twitter
Yeah, because like
being a little sus. We also don't know when we would get our results back.
right, because
Yeah.
I think we could weight it that way, because like
okay,
do
so
because I feel bad narrowing it down to just 2 people, you know, because I don't want you and me, Kevin, to have the most say in the second nominee. It should be everybody, I think.
We'll give a collective
So
Okay.
reasoning.
if
Okay.
there's a game that the entire panel gave points to, is that cool?
Oh,
okay. Wait. I think we're making this a lot harder than it has to be. Okay, so let's start with Batman. How many points collectively does Batman have?
all
They
of
all have
these games
6.
have 6.
As I'm saying, give it to the people
Oh, I'm
like
an idiot.
however many people voted for it. So like if
To be
you
honest,
you and I are
think
the
this
only
makes sense.
you and I are the only people that vote for Batman. But you, me, Jack, and Mike all voted for Wii Sports.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think Mike
okay.
and Omar are the only people that voted for God of War. I think.
I do something for you,
Really?
Kevin. You do something for me.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who the fuck voted for God of War 2? Really?
God of War. Who voted for God of War 2?
I did.
I did.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you,
No
Mike. That's it? Jack, what the fuck happened, Jack? What's
I
wrong?
didn't play God of War 2. You could have brought the heat with God of War 2018.
Come on, man.
I didn't think
That,
we were
that
gonna
one,
answer
see,
that.
that one would have been too easy, and I just assumed that someone else
Too
would have
easy?
2018.
So
Yeah, that's an easy dub.
Easy to vote for.
yeah, man. That was my biggest point.
That's what-
I didn't give you points because I thought I don't know if you sold the idea that 2 is better than 2018.
I thought I did, but
That was
okay.
that was
Listen,
my only
there,
thing.
There are people here that don't see the vision, and that's fine.
No,
I'm
it's
not
okay.
mad.
It's okay.
That's fine.
I was-
It's good.
Onward
you know
is so
what?
good.
Hey,
Yeah.
Omar, listen, you might get an extra Christmas gift this year. I don't know. You know,
All right.
maybe, you know, you might get a little something in your PSN. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Buy that Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying?
So, can we all agree that if there's a tie, we give it to the game out of the tie that has the most people who voted for it on the panel,
Yes.
not the number value?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
that makes sense.
Okay,
Yep.
because keep it within us. That makes it simple. So, the winners of the first Hall of Game are Super Mario 64 and Wii Sports.
Let's go. That was dirty. I'm so sorry, Jack. I feel like an asshole. I'm sorry.
You robbed me. No, I think
Yes.
I think that's a good way of deciding that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it keeps it in the group. I think that's the right way to do it, personally.
Arkham City really is so good, though.
I know, man. Jack, I'll do you right by Arkham City. Trust me.
So I think Wii Sports should definitely be in here. When I was deliberating, I was saying it's probably the most influential game in this category, I would say.
yeah, Wii Sports is an inspired choice, and there's no game that does that better. So
Also, great presentation.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
phenomenal. Everyone did a very good presentation, and I'm glad we all took a different approach with it because that was very fun.
That
I
was
also want to
great.
clarify my position on Wii Sports. I love Wii Sports and real sports. So you can love both.
Yeah, I thought you were just a real sports guy only, but good to
No.
hear.
Well, there we have it. So the next time we will be doing this, nobody can bring the games that they brought tonight. We will be doing this again. We will be reconvening in June to induct 2 more games into the JoyClicks Hall of Game for the summer session. Any criticisms or improvements you would like to see in the stream moving forward, leave them in the comments. At me on Twitter. I will take things into account. I'm sure things will change as we go on and improve the hall. But there we go. Congratulations to the winners once again.
The winners being
Christian Buckley and Omar Nakvi, who brought 2 Nintendo games. And the Nintendo games.
oh, cool. They said something about Wii Sports. So I feel like I have to say something about Super Mario 64 real quick. But man, Super Mario 64 is so good. I really feel like that game still plays like maybe the most fun game to control today is playing that game, I think. And Christian might have known how much I love that game personally and maybe brought it to get my points. Or he loves it too, but man, fuck, it's too good. That backwards long jump is so funny.
Should we run through publicly what we all voted for now? Now that
Sure, and then we'll wrap up. I went first. I voted 3 points to Batman, 2 points to Wii Sports, and 1 point to Halo 3.
Yeah, so I voted 3 points to Super Mario 64, 2 points to God of War 2, and 1 point to Wii Sports.
I voted 3 points to Batman, 2 points to 64, and 1 point to Wii Sports.
Thank you, Kevin.
I voted.
Not thank you, Christian. Not thank you. Not thank you. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Omar. I appreciate y'all. Kings over here. Go ahead, Omar. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please. I gave 3 points to Mario 64. Just said it again, but man, best game ever made. That's not Metal Gear Solid 2. Then I gave 2 points for Halo 3. Mike, fantastic presentation. And man, Halo 3, what a time. Remember when there was those ads that said finish the fight and they had those action figures in it?
hell yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Those are cool. Did any of you guys get a copy of Halo 3 from 7-Eleven? Or anything like that? For some reasons, they were selling it. It was bizarre. Then I gave 1 point to God of War 2, which, hey, that's where Cory Barlog got his start, right? That's where he became epic. I think you got to respect it. That's the game.
My boy.
I gave 3 points to Halo 3, 2 points to Wii Sports, and 1 point to Super Mario 64.
Very, very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very curious to go back on the VOD and hear everybody's voting process because I'm very curious to hear how it all shook
You're
out.
gonna hate what I said about Get ready.
Well, thank you all for agreeing to this. This was a blast. I'm glad you guys had fun with it. Once again, we'll be back in June. We'll sign off. We want to plug some stuff across the board. Just go in order as we see it. Mike, what's up? What do you want to shout out?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors.
Very nice. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at ShuntyD2, and here, of course, youtube.com/JoyClicks. I work on shows with all these fine members of the order if you want those as well. So thank you. Jack?
You could follow me on Twitter at FascinatedJack. Omar?
Yeah, I've got a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ohmsachef. Check it out, please. Kevin?
YouTube.com/PlayStation Source, as well as Twitter at PaSourceVids, and on podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, all that good stuff. PlayStation Source podcast feed as well.
Very nice. And yeah, thank you for supporting the channel. If you're new, stick around. We'll be back with these. We got a lot of other shows every week. And shout out to everybody who came by the chat tonight. Kevin Mack, Owen, Ariola, thank you for watching and entertaining us. So we'll be back once again in June. And until then, it's pizza time.
It's pizza time.
Pizza time.
Pizza.
Pizza!